Over the past year, I've been fortunate enough to earn 10k per month freelancing with AI. No team, no subcontractors, just me helping businesses to understand and implement this amazing new technology. But just a few years ago, I was broke, anxious, living at home with my parents with absolutely no idea how to make money online. This video is for anyone who has technical skills, maybe in AI, maybe in coding, and they want to take those skills and use them to build themselves a freedom-based freelance business. This is my story, and I hope you can learn something from it. It's my story of how I went from 0 to 10k per month, and each of the major breakthroughs that helped me to get there. I know people seem to just make up numbers on the internet these days, so I'm not coming without receipts. Here's 40k pounds, so 50k dollars that I've collected in just the past 3 months. Now, I'm not saying it was easy. It was very flippin' hard, to be honest with you, but it was worth the risk. And if I could go back and I had to go through all of those experiences again, all of those tough times to get to where I am now, living in Spain, working on projects, AI projects that I find genuinely interesting and think are valuable to the world, and I get to work with amazing clients, many of them that I see as trusted friends. And I get to earn a living, which allows me to enjoy these amazing places that I'm lucky enough to live in. I'm sharing this story because I know there will be many people who are at an earlier stage of their journey, and they're probably having many of the same doubts that I had back then. Is this even possible? Can you really make money online? Or is it just an Instagram fantasy? Can you actually earn good money as a solopreneur? Or am I better just working up the corporate ladder? And what if I fail? What if I fall behind all of my friends? What if I kind of fail to keep up with the Joneses? I'm sharing this story because I want to show those people that it is possible. Okay? They won't fall behind. They will build an incredible career for themselves. For many of those people, this is definitely a risk worth taking. So my AI journey started back in 2020. COVID had just hit. I was at university studying business and we all got sent home. And my dad needed a labourer to come and help him on building sites, but it had to be someone from the same household. So I figured, okay, I can go with him, earn a bit of money, do all my university work in the evenings, and it'll be fine. And so that's what I did. And working on the building site gave me lots of time to think about what I was going to do once I got back to university. What was I going to do after university? And I knew that I wanted to build my own business. And my course wasn't setting me up for that. It was a business degree, but it wasn't really teaching me about real world entrepreneurship. It was teaching me how to become a management consultant or an investment banker. And I didn't want to do either of those things. So I knew that I wanted to build a business. I knew that I wanted to make my own dent in the universe, but I didn't know what that business should be. But I kind of concluded that it should be in something that is moving fast, something that is going to have an impact on the world in the next few decades. And so that's how I really got led to AI. Instead of spending my evenings, as I had told myself I would, doing my university work, I actually started learning how to code. I learned how to code with Python first. I learned how to build some really basic AI models. I went through the fundamentals of machine learning, and really I just became hooked on coding. I loved this new skill that I was developing. So I then went into an internship with a VC, and it was great, but I was just so hooked on coding. All my mornings, all my evenings, I was just working on my own little software projects. And so in the space of a year, I'd gone from being kind of destined for the corporate ladder, having no skills that I could use to spin something up on my own, to being able to build my own software. And this was a really valuable place for me to get to. And during this time, I also started to learn about digital nomads. So people that were traveling around the world, making money online as they went. And this really appealed to me. There was something about that that was exciting and challenging, and it just became a bit of a dream of mine. And I wasn't sure how seriously I could entertain it, but at this point it was definitely something that was starting to crop up in my mind as something I'd like to do. So just over 3 years ago, I was entering the final few months of my university degree, and I had a dilemma. Do I take my £40,000 a year graduate job offer, or do I take this opportunity to go and fulfill my dream of working for myself? I'd spent the past 10 years of my life previous to that trying to make money online, and most of the time failing. I started my first blog when I was about 12, and I had a long run of failures between the age of 12 and this point a few years ago where I was 22. And so part of me was thinking, you know what, maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe this is a pipe dream. Like, look at all these failures I've had. But then the other part of me was like, this is the time to do it. You know, you can go move back home, go all in on this and just give it a go. And I thought those coding skills, those development skills that I'd learned in my last year or so of uni was what was going to take me to that place. Those were going to be the skills that I could sell. But boy, was I wrong. That first year was insanely tough. Whilst I had a huge amount of technical skill and knowledge, I had no idea how to turn that into a business that actually made money. And in hindsight, I was doing it all wrong. I had no guidance, no direction. I had no idea how to price myself, how to sell myself. And at the end of each month, I was lucky if I brought in about £1,000. And this was insanely draining. I couldn't make sense of it. All my friends had run off to London. They were making at least 3 times as much as me and running around London having a great time. And I was stuck in this countryside, putting in 12-hour days and bringing home very little. Everything I tried was failing. Every book I read didn't help. Every ad I ran didn't convert. And I just felt stuck and lost. But thankfully, at the end of this first year, I had my first big breakthrough. During that first year where I was really struggling, I was primarily building websites for people. It was easy for me technically, like I knew how to do it, and there's plenty of people out there looking for websites, so I did manage to make some money doing it. But on the side, I still wanted to get into AI. That's really what I was excited about. And so when I wasn't building websites for people, I was building little AI projects, little tools that people could use, and I was sending them to people on LinkedIn, people that were in the industry that the tool was relevant to. And this is what led me to my first major breakthrough. One day, someone super excited about AI replied to my message. Krish, he's the director of a marketing agency, and he wanted to engage with people that were working on AI projects. And so I went to London to meet with him, and that one day that I spent with him just completely broke my mind. Everything that I'd thought about business and everything I thought about what I was doing just got completely thrown out the window that day. And on this day, I didn't learn anything new technically. You know, I thought some crazy technical thing that I built was going to be what took me to the next level. But actually, on that day, I just learned how to price myself, how to price my services, and how to sell myself. This alone took me from £1,000 a month to £5,000 a month in just a matter of weeks. I learned that I could sell websites for £5,000. You know, that was crazy to me. My old mindset just couldn't understand that. And so that's what I went and did, and it worked. They were no more fancy than the old websites that I'd been selling, but I was better able to communicate my value, why I should be the person to deliver that website, and the value that it would bring to the business that was buying it. Krish's impact on my business didn't stop there though. Our next meeting led to yet another breakthrough for me. Now, I built my business up to £5,000 a month selling websites, but I was still determined to get into the AI space. Now, fortunately, Krish now knew that I did AI, that I was good at what I did, and so when he had a problem in his business that could be solved with AI, he knew who to call. They had a lot of writers that they were paying to write content for their clients. They had lots of clients, lots of writing that needed to be done, lots of writers, and lots of money being spent on these writers. And Krish asked me, can you create me a button where I press it and content is generated for all of our clients that our editors then go through, edit, and we publish it for the clients. This kind of semi-automated human touch approach to AI, which I think is really powerful. But when Krish asked me to build this, there was one slight problem. I already had a trip booked to Sri Lanka in a week's time. So I went, locked myself in a room, basically 7-8 days, just non-stop coding. And at the end of it, I delivered my first AI product that was going to be used by an actual business. And then I had this amazing moment. I flew off to Sri Lanka to race tuk-tuks, surf, eat sambal and dal for breakfast. It was amazing. It was the life that I dreamed about. You know, building AI products, traveling. It's what I'd always wanted, and I was so excited about it. It was more than just a holiday. It was like a moment in time that just proved to me that this is possible. I just saved that business about £80,000 per year because they didn't need to pay as many writers anymore. This was like real, true business value being created with AI, and this was just another moment that was huge for me. We'd built a system, and I was actually saving a real business money. About a year later, I wanted to take my business to the next level once again. And so I applied to speak at Brighton SEO, which is one of the world's largest SEO conferences, to tell them about my experience of helping an SEO agency through AI. I'd never done anything like this before, and then all of a sudden I'm going to be speaking in front of 1,000 people from the SEO industry. I was terrified, so I put so much effort into this talk. So thankfully it went really well, and I picked up a few amazing clients from it. But there was an even more important breakthrough that happened around this time. I'd previously tried turning that AI SEO automation into a SaaS tool. I built it, I branded it, I sold it, but I only got a handful of clients because I was competing with teams that were better funded, more people, more hours to put into it. I was still trying to manage my freelance projects and I had bills to pay. So I just couldn't put the same level of effort in, and I got left behind in terms of execution. So the real breakthrough that came from going to Brighton and doing this talk and getting in front of people there was that I learned how to package my skills, how to package my knowledge of AI, my knowledge of SEO, and my knowledge of automation into something that businesses valued and were willing to pay for. Once I did this, once I packaged my skills properly, I became fully booked. So no new technical skills, no new abilities, just better positioning of my existing skills. Since that moment, I haven't looked back. I've had new clients coming in every month. I've got AI projects that I'm actually interested in and excited about working on. I've been able to live in London in an amazing flat for a year. I've been able to travel, and I've been able to enjoy my life in the way that I want to. Now, finally, as my 12-month housing contract in London came to an end, I've decided to leave the UK to live my dream lifestyle as a digital nomad. And so I've spent most of the summer here in Spain, and in the next couple of months I'm going to be going somewhere new. So yeah, it's really exciting times. I'm sharing this story because I want to show you that it's possible. You have no idea how much thanks I have for younger me as I was leaving university, like taking that risk. Because without doing that, I wouldn't be able to have the life that I have now. And I really do love it. But I think the big takeaway from my story is that it's not really hard work that's going to take you where you want to go. It's really the understanding and the knowledge of what works. Like, my breakthroughs didn't come from me doing really long weeks, even though that's what I did, and that's obviously helped me get here. Like, the actual breakthroughs, the things that have taken me to the next level, have just come from these little unlocks in how I do things. You literally have to work smart, not hard. To clarify, it's not about the long weeks, it's about those small moments, those moments where I learned how to price my services, I learned how to sell myself and my services, and I learned how to package it all into something that people found valuable and were willing to pay for. Those few things are what has made my current life possible. And so this is possible for anyone with a decent level of technical skills in AI. There are businesses out there that need your help and are willing to pay for it. You don't need to struggle for a couple of years like I did. You can actually fast forward to those moments where you learn how to get in front of your ideal clients. You learn how to price and sell your services. And you learn how to package up your skills most effectively so people see what you're offering as something that's valuable and that they're willing to pay for. If you're looking to turn your AI skills into a profitable business, I work closely with a small number of people each month to help them do just that. If you've already started your journey, but you're not quite sure how to make it to that next level, I'd love to help. I'll show you how to attract clients, how to close deals, and ultimately how to build a freedom-based business around your skills. Just visit the link in the description to get in touch. Thanks for watching.